It is confirmed that the wife has HIV actually.
I want to tell you that HIV/AIDS is no longer a death sentence.
Suspicion is not something in the domain of science.
I recommend for you a book called Attitude is Everything by Kev Haring. Welcome to Share with Noble. Today we are discussing an issue that was given to us by somebody. I don't know what challenges you may be facing in your own marriage if you have been married. This man has been married for 16 years, and at a point he had an ailment he thought was just malaria and typhoid, as usual, with black people. And he went to the clinic only to be subjected to some medical tests, which resulted into something that he never believed, and that is the fact that he tested positive to HIV/AIDS. Shocked. He was wondering where he got it from because he has never cheated on his wife. So not believing the report, he went to another medical doctor and the result was still the same. And on further inquiry, the doctor said, please go home and ask your wife some questions. And with him, asking my wife questions now means that maybe am I going to find out now that my wife has been HIV positive for the past 16 years and I didn't know? Or am I going to just find out whether she was actually negative and all that? So, but because he doesn't want to cause more problems in a marriage of 16 years, he says, let me find out from some persons, to actually cancel me. And who are those people? You that you are watching. But before you share your own view, let me just have the views of my immediate guests here. On the right, I have Gray Amona.
Thank you for the privilege.
Yeah, welcome to the program. And on the left is Dr. Chidi Peters. As usual. I know you're always happy with Gray Amona. It's a pleasure having you together.
You to a state of having a hypersonic thinking and in terms of users of English.
Yes. Gray Amona, you just had a story.
Yes.
A man that had been in marriage for 16 years, not given to cheating his wife, and all of a sudden he went for a check only to discover that he was HIV positive.
Yes.
And the question now is, do I suspect my wife, or where else can I get the positive result from? And do I confront my wife now, or should I keep it to myself and begin to find ways of actually resolving the problem? So the question now is for you to actually counsel him.
Well, it's a straightforward thing, and if self-knowledge brings, genuine and accurate information, the question of suspecting anybody will not be there. So, when you are in a consultation, with medicine, people that represent professional medicine, that's the physician. There's something we call medical history. Okay. In consulting with the doctor, that one is a certainty. You'll be, there'll be inquiry into that. What's your medical history? So the man knows his medical history. The issue of bringing the wife will not be there. So that's simply the way out. If you know this medical history, that should not be a problem. So suspicion is not something in the domain of science. Science has nothing to do with suspicion. And when you yield to scientific knowledge, which of course medical practice, is all about and personifies, there'll be no question, or speculation or suspicion. So, if he knows what he has experienced, what he has been going through, voluntarily, so to say, that should not be a radio at all.
Okay.
When that kind of thing comes, so that is diagnosed, with HIV/AIDS, yes, very embarrassing and something worrisome, but it does not need rocket science. You simply, know what has actually taken place. That's how I say it.
Okay, Dr. Peters, if this man now suspects the wife, for example, and he is also he has already tested positive, if he stays away from the wife now, maybe, he has already tested positive, does he stay away from the wife, or does he now give the wife excuse on why he has decided to do some things, different from what they were doing before, being lovers together or husband and wife in the past?
So to my very wonderful friend and brother, I want to tell you that HIV/AIDS is no longer a death sentence. Science has advanced to the point that the virus can be reduced drastically, and the advanced science has also told us that in a few years' time, they are going to have a total cure to HIV/AIDS, and the other science has also come up again with a vaccine to have protection of contracting HIV/AIDS. And also want to educate him that there's no fear about whether his wife, has this issue of unfaithful or extramarital affairs with anyone. HIV cannot only be transmitted or contracted through a sexual relationship. There are several ways where we are taught that this could be contracted, which includes exposure to a blood of a victim, which also include syringe, barbing salon, needles, and what have you. And we're also meant to understand that physical contact, you can contract it. So number one, you should not be scared of confronting the wife and asking the wife voluntarily that we have to run a test. And of course, this is what I passed through. So if you are in marriage, you should be able to trust your wife. Except when the woman comes up to open up, even when you suspect, there's also need to verify and ask basic questions, whereby things you now begin to know the other way of how to handle it. But for now, you need to also, you have seen the wife on the altar, they agree that they are one. And they also agree, like I said earlier today, for better, for worse, that clause should be removed. That clause should be in health and in health. So they should be able to sit down, discuss it, go to hospital, test themselves, test the children, and if there is, by peradventure, by error of omission or commission, there's nothing wrong in them taking their normal antiviral drugs they take, and they live healthy for the rest of their life. And for the children who are growing, there's also chances that the antiviral can bring the virus down up to minimum, or even up to killing it finally, and they may be subsequently they will test negative. But for now, you should confront the wife and have that this thing to run that test. Otherwise, he will run into depression. He need more counseling. He will run into depression, and he run into depression. It could lead to anything. It could lead to suicide, and of course lead to disunity of the family, disintegration of family, and of course such will also have effects on the children. So for now, he's acting on hearsay. He's been presumable instead of being a realist. So he should take his wife, go to a medical facility, have yourself run at least in the first test of HIV, first month, then 3 months, and then 90 days. So they should ensure that they pass through this series of tests before you can now come to a conclusion that actually infected with HIV/AIDS. And if by asking question, if find out the wife had a extramarital affair, that's a different ballgame. But for now, he should stop being presumptive.
Okay, great, Amona. Yes, if peradventure he goes to the wife to find out, and it is confirmed that the wife has HIV, actually, in your own view, is that a death sentence, or is there anything he can do psychologically speaking now? Because I ask this question because there are a lot of persons who in the past were given this kind of a verdict only for them to discover that the verdict was given in error. Now, what do you think this man can do to actually reorientate his psychological behavior along this line?
Well, I think we're already basking in the satisfaction that science has provided a reprieve for sufferers of AIDS. And it's quite reassuring to hear from Peters, reassuring us. Peters always specifies meth. He's
not a medical doctor, he's just doctor.
I'm not saying that Peters went to University of Ibadan for the faculty of medicine. I'm saying his statement is reassuring. That statement is already rooted in our memory, all right? But when someone reassures you that it kind of creates an instant soothing balm. So it's not a death sentence. So for the human family, Comrade Milo, I think it's also a gratifying thing. But this is the issue. Should medicine prove otherwise, that actually there's infection? There's no need to wear, in old Israel, when something terrible happened, you put something sand on the head, right? So that kind of thing will not be necessary again. Actually, see, there's one thing about my reaction to science. When at times I experience something terrible, as pain and all that, and instantly I head for the pharmacy and I have a, sort of like a solution, and I feel like, oh, so actually the glory of God is, replicated in man too,
Yeah.
ability to provide, cures.
Yeah.
So it is not a death sentence, and medicine is a component of science anyway, because without scientific knowledge there will be no medical skill.
Yeah.
So since it has provided that solution, the family had better resonate in it, take advantage of it, and there are so many things involved too, Conrad Milo. Not every person takes it that way, you understand? That it takes an educated mind to actually warm up to the fact that yes, there is a solution to this problem. So it need not be something like another Armageddon. So if that is the case, I think they should, the family, the happiness of the family should not be affected by it.
Okay. Your final take on this?
Well, I've said it all. The area of stigmatization of those whose HIV/AIDS is gone. Now they're giving of antiretroviral drugs. I think they're done in some hospitals on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That are done in the open. Nobody cares who you are because you don't know who next. No one wears it as a tag on his body. So they should take advantage of what science has brought. So take the antiretroviral drugs, and of course they will get better with time. And they're hoping that miracle could happen along the line.
Okay. Now,
but to him, my brother, my colleague, my friend, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
So don't be rest assured I got a death sentence.
Okay. Now you have had it all from.
We're in together. We're within together.
Yeah, we're within together. Yeah. We pride ourselves as solution providers.
Yes.
But of course, with the collaborative effort of our viewers. Now, and that is why I'm urging you now to not just watch, but you should also like, share, and subscribe. Of course, press the notification button. But for me again, let me just add that in case you still want to probe further into what you should do, I recommend for you a book called Attitude is Everything by Kev Haring. He says attitude is everything. The man, as a stammerer, while he was growing up, he was condemned. Somebody thought he was not going to do well in school, and he was able to overcome it and became one of the richest men in America as a salesman, and he never stuttered again like he was in the past. So read that book, Attitude is Everything, and see how you can also overcome this challenge you are facing now. And if you're able to overcome it, of course, you'll be a testimony for others who may be facing the same challenge. So thank you for watching. We'll come back again in another episode. Bye-bye.